Customizing Bigbox.
Alright, hello and welcome back everybody. It's Aces with another update video here, where I think I've done enough changes to the setup here that it warrants quick documentation on what the changes are, what they look like, and what they mean. So first things first, what spurred this is that a new theme came out called Coverbox Fragments. I highly recommend you download it if you use LaunchBox and you have a setup. The link can be found in the description. It really puts some final touches on the whole setup here, I feel. And so from that, I kind of branched off into a couple other changes. So first thing that you can hear is that the songs now that are going to be playing are just going to be specifically songs from ocremix.org. I think that's kind of a cool way to explore and find, new songs with like a new twist, and kind of as you're kind of browsing through menus, because there's a lot of menu to browse, that you can have something interesting to hear in the background like this. And yeah, that's kind of a neat little change. I also took out Fight Cage from the main menu here in the setup. The way that I feel a lot of setups are is that they just get way too convoluted with menus right from the start, where you just are, blasted with like 13 Super Nintendos and 18 Genesis sections and all that. I feel that if you just start up into a main menu that's just as concise as possible, for me anyway, that's what this looks like. Light gun, MAME, karaoke, handhelds, console, computer, Clone Hero, arcade, Windows. Those are all just kind of like the main things that I think you'd be wanting to explore before you start, branching out into something else. So with that here, let's go into, the other thing I wanted to mention here too is that the good thing about the menus is that it has like a concise visual feel to it. The using Vision as the theme kind of gives you like right away like a big menu choice, like it's just consoles right in your face. And the art for these never changes, so as you're kind of scrolling through this, you can kind of start to remember that, alright, Mario jumping out of the console, this is handhelds. These guys playing gambling, it's consoles. Computers is Day of the Tentacle. So you kind of like quickly can manage and understand where you are in a menu, just visually being so large and with the art never changing. And that's also with the banner too. The banners here, they're not set, so it's using the background and the console's logo. I feel like that this is more of a category. Once you go into something like consoles, this is more of a platform. That's why the banners will be more of something static, so it shows you the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2. So that's kind of what the reasoning there is, and also why the static images are here, so you start to remember that, okay, ColecoVision's Mario fighting Donkey Kong, Bonk is TurboGrafx 16, Mario flying to your face, well that's the Wii. And then you can just kind of scroll through this menu and it never really changes, so I can really just go fast and I just know, visually where I was, what if I wanted to find something like PS2. So, yeah, and then with that here, I'll go into the Coverbox Fragments themes now. So I used it for certain sections here. I think there's about 20 Coverbox Fragments options. They're all wonderful. These are just the ones that I decided to incorporate into my setup. So let's start off with the PlayStation 3. Once you start going into the subcategories of things, that's kind of why I start to change out the art. Because once you've made a choice like PlayStation 3, you kind of, okay, I'm invested into this, I'm going to be starting to start selecting something. That's also why the art changes here too, so just to kind of, maybe if you're not really sure, maybe you'll see something that you recognize from the past, and you're like, yeah, I think I'd probably go for that. So now we're going to be jumping into the Coverbox Fragments theme though once we select a menu, so let's just start off with all games, which is again not PlayStation Network, this is just simply North America and overseas games. So nice little intro now, you select PS3, and then here we go. Love the background with the waves from the PlayStation, and I love how it pulls the disc like that, and then that little icon that shows you like the game you'd be selecting it from a PlayStation 3. Fantastic attention to detail, and I love all of that, it's wonderful. And also if you go into a game, still lets you select all the different options. I love how it also blows up the back box art. So this is going to be for all the different themes that I'll show you now here. It'll be showing it like this. I think it's a really cool addition to be able to kind of get one last look at something. With the setup here also, I have a separate left monitor there that actually shows the art. So if you ever wanted to walk up to it, you're able to. So that's kind of a neat little way to interpret that. Let's go on to a different song here in the background. But yeah, that's why that monitor is there. You can just walk up and take a closer look at the back art really well. Well, and the front art, I suppose. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of scroll through the menu here. Maybe change the song again. Here we go. And yeah, let me just kind of scroll through here and see what the theme looks like. Alright, well, now take a look at the PlayStation Network section. And then I'll probably move on to Xbox 360 after. So with the PlayStation Network here also, these are all DLC installed also and unlocked. So if it's like something like the Telltale series, and it's just like the one, it'll be unlocked for all the different episodes inside it. And all patched up. DLC is patched. Again, these PlayStation 3 games launch a little bit differently. The network games are kind of like an image that you mount. Well, maybe not mount exactly, but the discs you mount. The PlayStation Network ones are sort of installed. And these technically are duplicated, I suppose, if they're a disc game and a PlayStation Network game. But like I mentioned with the PlayStation 3, the disc games and the network games are completely separate. Completely separate patches, completely separate DLC, by the way, too, so you can't mix and match them. And also that disc games need to install in the emulator. PSN network games don't. And I don't know, just for archival purposes, it's fun to have both. Just to swap back and forth. And mostly, like I said, like sometimes you'll find DLC for this game, but you won't find the DLC for the PlayStation 2. Or there might be a patch for the disc game, but there won't be a patch for the network game. Sometimes that's just by design, like sometimes the network games were released just patched up more than the disc games. So But in general, that whole scenario is just kind of rare. If I found like a patch for one, they were basically the patch. I also cleaned up the sections here a little bit. I think a lot of this was, maybe not a lot of it, but some of it was missing some metadata because the titles weren't matched up. It's very important if you download and your ROM sets that you use. Like I said, I created this whole ROM set it's not based on anything. You can just download. You can't just grab any of these images somewhere. This is something I manually kind of combed through, trimmed it up like a bonsai tree, kind of got this whole setup. But yeah. Alright, now let's go on to the Xbox 360, taking a look at that here now. So the Xbox 360 section was another one that I definitely am very thankful for Coverbox Fragments, because it's these vision, and the vision theme just kind of didn't match with everything else, particularly in these sections. So we're going to be going into the all games, and again, there are changes here like I mentioned before and why that does that. So let's go into all games. These are going to be just the disc-based games again. The Xbox Network games are separate. There comes again, just like before, the disc comes up and spins. Also, you can pick the games and then the back art. Awesome to display there. Launch with still works, so again, I can play with any controller if I feel like it. Menus still work great. Yeah, I'll just kind of scroll through these here and see what this looks like. So again, the way that the creator did this is that every theme is its own sort of theme, really. Like Xbox 360 section, you know, you have to create a whole basic theme for that section. You do the same thing for the Nintendo, so it's a lot of effort into all of these. Kind of make sure that they're all done nicely like this. I can definitely see that. It's super appreciated. Yeah. It's getting a little intense for a song. Let's go on to the next one. And I guess if the thing has a disk image, it uses a default image, which is actually pretty cool. Yeah, I think since there's about 9 or so games that I use, probably, I must start to kind of scroll through these a little bit faster. And timestamps hopefully help now. Just sort of skip over to something else. And that's the all game section, and I'll probably quickly scroll through the Xbox Live Arcade section too. I don't know, I think the other videos don't show enough of this just looking cool, so I thought I'd just kind of scroll through the two main sections of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox, just to kind of show what it's like and all the different games in them. The PlayStation Network games are actually really cool too. Again, they just are different, they're not images, so it's kind of cool though if it has a disc image art. There you go. Yeah, I'll just scroll through these here. Now with this setup here too, it's cool because again, if you use third screen, you can again, like I mentioned, the left screen monitor, you can walk up to it, you can take a look at the art a little bit closer. I'm hoping to probably upgrade that to a 4K monitor. so that way it's going to be something that's going to be a little bit even more visually striking. I think that warrants it. I think that's a cool idea to upgrade it to a 4K, and I'll probably make another video about that too. Maybe even make it like a big vertical monitor to maybe display things a little bit better. But yeah, third screen lets you do that here. I have links in my bio for that too. Make sure you download plugins like that. Alright, yeah, looking fantastic. So let's go ahead and show off some of the other parts of the theme that I use. I also corrected, I guess, 2 things here while I'm scrolling through. I can mention... No, I'll mention that later here. Let's go into the other sections. I don't think I used anything else out of these regardless. I think the original Coverbox ones, I just kind of kept maybe the Wii. No, I think maybe the Wii I kept also as original Coverbox, yeah. So let's move into... oh, maybe Wii U. Nope, that one's also still Coverbox. Okay, so now let's move on to the ones that I know. That's going to be handhelds. So PSP is definitely one of the ones that I upgraded here to Coverbox Fragments. Definitely makes it look nicer. And then these are all the different sections of the handhelds. So again, none of the images change, just to kind of visually know which section that you're in. Yes, let's go into the PSP now. Let's go into all games and scroll through and see what the theme looks like. Wonderful, now the PSP swipe in there, and now you can see again kind of looks like the PlayStation swirl, I guess is what it's called. I'm not too sure, but I love the little video there. It kind of gives some animation, some movement to it. Pops up the UMD like that out of the PSP. It's wonderful. And yeah, if you kind of bring up B-Boy, you can see the back art. I like that this is actually formatted nicely. The other ones I think were a little bit stretched. I don't know if it's just from my setup here, but this one looks like it's actually corrected to be something a little bit more like a PSP box. That's awesome. Love that. Yeah, looks great. I can still access my launch width. I can still go ahead and do all that and take one last look. Actually, I love how it's actually centered like this. It looks like a PSP box. That's awesome. Yeah. Keep going through and scroll. The way that the songs work again is that if the menu actually had a game that had associated songs related to it, like the actual song from the game, it'll overwrite the background music. For these though, these ones are more just PSP games, so I don't think there's really too much soundtrack available online specifically from the game directly. Just while you can sit back and enjoy some OC remix songs while you're in these. Again, there's I think 4,500 OC remix songs, so that's kind of neat. Yeah, let's go check out the other sections since we gotta scroll through a few. Let's check out 3DS. Actually, let's just go into all games. Might as well just have everything available. eShop games are again separate. Love how now it kind of mimics the DS with that install logo. Wow. Love it. I love how on the DS the menu shows up too, just like it. I love the icons. Right away when you start thinking about DS, 3DS, those little present icons to install the game. Oh, love it. And also the way that the videos look for, I guess, the game cases for this. Love it too. It's formatted nicely, it's not stretched on the widescreen. Or I mean, like, in my opinion, the way a 3DS case is, it was a little bit elongated, but not really square, not really rectangle. I mean, it's not square, it's a rectangle, but you know. Mega Man 9. Alright. Alright, so that's the 3DS section. Let's take a look at DS, another theme. And yep, the 3DS boxes and the DS boxes look the same to me, shape-wise. I love this. I love the way the DS is on the left there, and then the menus on the right. It's just so good. Oh, that looks really good. Yeah, you can pick up a game, tosses the back art like that. Still have the launch with like before. Yeah, you want to do a Barbie fashion show and you really want to get into it, you get invested, you know. Wow, I can like hear fantastic remixes sometimes, and then you're like, wow, I gotta go visit OC Remix and take a look and see it. And wait that the menus here work in the controller, like I can just go to the next song, I just have to press one button, it's all really nice and simple and easy. And that way if you can forget what song is playing, you can just go back and forth really quick. Oh, I don't even think I let a game pop up here yet for the 3DS, or the DS. So let's see a game pop up for one. Oh, wonderful. You can even get the game description there afterwards. Oh, that's great. I love that. And then it scrolls. I mean, it might be a little bit tiny, but this is a 70-inch TV, so it's perfect. So I'm not complaining. It's perfect for my size. I love that, though. Actually, I'm going to probably take a look at the 3DS, too. I don't think I did that for the 3DS. And if I did, well, I'm gonna go back to it again here. Well, maybe something that's... I mean, maybe I had a game art for that one, but let's see if... I'm pretty sure Ace Combat would have one. Oh, wow. Awesome. Beautiful. Alright, let's go on to Game Boy. I think that's another one. So, as you can see for Game Boy, there's game-specific music. So if there's game-specific music in this setup, it takes over and starts playing that instead. Wow, yeah, look at that. 4-in-1 Fun Pack pops up. Oh man, this is so good. I think I'm going to be scrolling through menus for days here now, just in the setup, exploring the art. And again, tosses the back art on the back here. Beautiful. Launch with. And I love how the game list there, you can see it sort of blurry. I don't know if it's going to come out in the recording very well, but it kind of blurs it a little. There's like a little video in the background that scrolls, or maybe the video itself in the background that's scrolling kind of adds this little effect. It's kind of like when you were looking at a Game Boy in the sun, and you just kind of get it at a weird angle, and the sun kind of makes everything look all monochrome and wonky. It's really neat. And yeah, pops up Felix the cat. Just perfect. So let's go on to Game Boy Advance. Let's just go under all games. Again, the art changes here because you're in the subsection now. The other thing I noticed is that, well, I think I'll probably mention it later too, but I think I recorded my shaders in the last video, and I swear in the recording there's sort of like a grid effect over it that you don't see on the TV, but in the recording it's definitely there, and I don't know if it's just because the NVIDIA doesn't capture it properly, but... Anyway, it's not there in the actual TV when I'm playing, so I'm gonna have to maybe look into that. Yeah, Game Boy Advance. Got the discs, or not the discs, the cards popping up there, looking good. Let's scroll through a couple and take a look. Game Boy Advance also has music available, so it's going to be overriding any of the music that's playing. I think it's the best way to kind of make it so it's not disjointed. Doesn't catch you too off guard to have background music play for anything else. That's why I also don't have the music or the video playing its sounds. I think it's a little jarring. Again, like I keep stressing, a lot of these setups just are really flashy, too much stuff animating everywhere, too many sounds. I do a lot of that here too, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff happening here, but I think as far as to what's cohesive enough, this is kind of my limit. You know, the song's changing a little bit, the art changing. Yeah. I love how the box art, it's basically like it's moving box art. It's like you have a Game Boy Advance box in front of you. And yeah, let's go into another section here. Game Boy Color, let's go take a look at that one. All games. Love the zoom in, I love how the font goes into a Game Boy Color like a rainbow. It's the small touches, right? You see something like that and it's just great. You really appreciate it. Love that. Card pops up. I love how high quality is too, oddly enough. Like you can see the battery in the see-through case. Like, as silly as it sounds, like you can just find a game like Alice in Wonderland and be like, oh, that's so neat, you know, you can see the battery pack in it. Pop-up Bassmasters. Or the bass masters, maybe. Music again, playing because that's essentially music. Now let's take a look at what a back of a game box looks like here. Yeah, beautiful. Let's take a look at... Don't think Virtual Boy was one. Game Gear might have been one? Oh, looks like that's still Coverbox. Maybe because it just doesn't done yet. Let's see. Well, for encouragement, definitely Game Gear. Great. Vita too. This is the other one that I would love to have a Coverbox version for. I think it's the only one I still have left to Vision. It still looks actually pretty good for the Vita. I think personally. I think it's actually pretty neat because it still kind of grabs the box art there in the bottom right. Has some nice art in the back. I think that's still really cool. So, I don't know, I guess Vision still actually kind of works for this and I might keep it. Love the song too. It sounds so familiar, don't remember what it is, but I don't want to restart it. Oh my god, of course I know what this is, but I don't know what this is. But I know what this is. Yeah, I think I already showed PSP. So that's all this section. The other section that I updated is computers. So let's go into computers. The Coverbox Fragments has an MS-DOS theme, so obviously I used that for Exodus and the Retroid Exodus. Again, these are all the menus. And yeah, let's go into that. So, all games is a lot. Let's start off with 90s, sure. Where we're doing selections. So we're gonna go into it, and it's gonna have that nice little MS-DOS swipe, and this is what this looks like now. Awesome. This is probably one of the reasons why I put my camera up to the top left now. It's because in particular the MS-DOS theme, in the bottom left you can see IBM compatible, and actually pretty sure it's all populated based on the game, so let's maybe go down to another 3D body adventure. Yeah. Education updates, one-player fighting game for 4D boxing. Beautiful. I love how there's the old-school PC monitor on the right that you can pick your game from and start slapping on the logos. Again, with the swipes. and it starts showing you the media for the games. Beautiful. I actually love how Exodus is appearing in the top center there. I just like to see that. It's just cool. I think it's actually just part of the videos, honestly. It just lines up nicely with the theme and everything here. Again, music plays. You can bring up the box art and you select it. Looks really sharp because, I mean, PC games had big box art. Oh, whoops. Let's go back into selections. Yeah, I'm sure this had a nice box art in it. Yeah, nice high quality back box art. Let's see here. It takes a little bit longer to come up per game, so I'm not too sure if that's like a setting that I might need to change, or if just my computer taking a little bit to kind of bring up all the media art and it just takes longer. But I don't know. Something about, I think, this particular section now with the Coverbox Fragments just takes us a little bit longer to come up. Like when you're scrolling over a game, it'll just hover there for a second or two before it'll start coming in. And this, I don't know. I'm not too sure if it's the computer. It might be because there's a lot of stuff that it loads, but again, it's just a section. But other than that, it's beautiful. Hopefully, maybe that's working. I don't know. I don't know. It's not really that jarring, I guess. I just gotta hover over something, so it looks beautiful. That's the main thing. Really brings a little bit of a better way to explore so many games. Because once you're in the DOS section, and I gotta actually turn down that. I think these scrolling sounds are a little bit too loud if you're holding them down. That's actually customizable in LaunchBox. You can actually change the volume on each individual sound. So if you wanted to do just the scrolling sounds be a little bit less intense, you're able to customize that. But yeah, you can find Doom. Looking great. I like how it's a little bit of detail, the edit game details section that go into here. Love it. And yeah, that same section is just used for the retro art section too. So there's not much to show other than that it swipes in nicely for this too. I think that those are the main themes that I use there. So just to start, I guess, going into the other updates on the arcade cabinet now that we've kind of covered LaunchBox Fragments. The arcade, Fightcade is now in here. I just felt like it's just more appropriate to shift it from the main menu. Again, it's all about trying to have so much selection to be as narrow as possible in regards to trying to sift through everything quickly. And again, the arcade section is feel more a category rather than a platform, which is why the banners are grabbing the background art and then the clear logo. So visually you can see and you can find what you're looking for, and remember that Techno Parrot was Guilty Gear and select it that way. So that was one update. Another update I think I did also from the consoles. There was the Neo Geo CD I think I added. I found the banner matching it nicely. So these banners are static because again platforms are just something I can visually identify easier, so you know that's something that existed. It's a little bit more firmly than a category. Alright, in television. This now has all the various launch widths available. Gave back and gave it a little bit of a tune-up. Yeah, those are the main ones. So now also I think Light Guns, there's a new update. Let me just go up here. So there's a new Technoparrot update with Bigbuck Hunter World, I think it is. Let me just go into it. Let's go into Technoparrot. I don't know why I was kind of thinking about that there for a second. But Bigbuck Hunter World added and works on the arcade cabinet. The reason why I also wanted to go into the Sinden Light Gun section is because I'm going to be adding my Sinden Light Gun add a remove script, the disable and enable script. I don't know, I'm trying my best to figure out best ways I can kind of share some of this with the community. I guess I start there. It'll be in the description. There'll be a file to download. That file, you'll extract it into a Sinden folder. The way that I have is I have multiple Sinden folders, like I mentioned. So I have Sinden, it's like a machine gun. I have Sinden single shot. It's literally the Sinden software, just copy and pasted. And then I just go into the recoil, and then I configure the recoil. I save it, and I just leave that folder as machine gun and all that. Then you can extract the file that I have here into the Sinden folder. And then after that, you just run, well, you go into LaunchBox, you add on. Before you launch a game, you do, well, there's a README file, okay? So inside there's a README file, it explains sort of how it works. You launch it before it'll turn on the Sinden software. The only thing you have to keep in mind is the HID of your Sinden guns. You need to find it. There's DevMan view located inside the file. What you do is go into there, and you can use that to find your HID of your Sinden guns. I'm pretty sure it'll be something different. I use a wildcard for the remove. That seems to work, but I used the specific HIDs for the enables. I'm sure I had a reason to do that. The wildcard cards probably didn't work. So just keep that in mind. Go into the enable bat, find your HIDs. Then you can just do that. So like it's easier for like Technoparrot. I guess in Technoparrot you just have to add each game anyway. So once you're adding the exe file for each game, you just add the turn on Sinden and turn off Sinden as run before and run after. So basically, you pick your game, it turns on the Sinden. Then you quit your game, it'll turn off the Sinden after, and that's what the scripts and batch files do. So while I wanted to kind of add that, I thought I'd launch and show Bigbuck Hunter World. That's kind of like what this is doing here. So if you go under additional apps and versions, I named it the same thing, but one is turn on Sinden and the other one's turn off Sinden. I was just too lazy to kind of rename it. And that's what it's doing. It's doing it automatically, so you don't actually like launch that. It just does it automatically. And I also put a link in the description, or maybe not in the description, but in the file that I added, there is bulk add remove apps. It's a plugin for LaunchBox. The plugin lets you just automatically like add it for a big grouping of games, so you can just whomp them in there for everything. You just like select all your Technoparrot games. The way that I do it is that like I kind of know that Time Crisis 5 is a single shot game, and maybe like I know a bunch of other ones are single shot games, so I just kind of highlighted those ones, did bulk add for the plugin, using the plugin, and I just added the turn off Sinden and turn on Sinden for those. So then you have a single shot profile set up for those games. Then you do the same thing for the machine gun, and that's how it kind of branches out. And you do the same thing for MAME, and that's how you have your Sinden set up, not really interfering with anything else that you're doing. So yeah, let's go ahead and launch Bigbuck Hunter World. Yeah, so quick play. It's going to be turning on the Sinden. After the Sinden software is kind of launched, it starts launching Technoparrot. It doesn't really wait for the Sinden software to finish loading. I think the script has like a little bit of like a pause for things. I'm sure I had reasons. I just don't remember what they are right now off the top of my head. And then once the guns work, well, I mean, they start working. So go ahead, just press start. Oh my god, how many times do I have to press start? Just let me start. Ah! Ah! Okay. I'm back.
G'day, mate.
Oh, good day.
Welcome to Bigbox Safari
so, again,
Outback.
They have the recoil and they have the pump
Fire up
action.
the
So
Barbie.
it's kind of like having like a mini shotgun, sort of. Sure, give me 3 tracks, baby. I'm all vested for this one. Let's hunt me some Ibex.
Excellent. Let's go to the hunt.
Oh, look at that lazy stare.
Welcome to Ibex Adventure.
Stupid, sexy Ibex. Not there yet? Oh, was I supposed to be shooting for something? Was I
Pick
playing?
a spot.
No, okay. Get ready, I'm ready.
Aye.
Oh, right, I did.
Look for the horns.
Wow. Well,
A,
gotta make sure I leave my mark here.
C-E.
Oh, okay, well. I'll have to make sure I record that score. But yeah, so you have Big Buck Hunter World, or Big Buck World, I suppose. It's just let's do one more. I have to redeem myself here. Oh, okay, well, I guess you only get that. Oh, right, just a minute. Reload. Now I'm just shooting all the animals. Alright.
Aye.
But I shot like birds and stuff
You
too.
are cross-eyed.
Like cross-eyed, you didn't have to make fun of me too, Jesus. Alright. Thank you, Safari Babe. Okay. Oh, he's back. He gave me a second chance. And I failed again. Well, I think I've humiliated myself enough in this game. But,
Try again tonight in your dreams.
so again, we can just quit. Once it quits, LaunchBox will automatically go ahead and run the turn-off Sinden afterwards. Pops it out of your computer entirely. You should take out the hardware IDs, and you're golden. And then you just go on to the next game. Yeah, let's see if there was anything else. Needed to maybe show? No, I think I can probably wrap up this update here, but that's sort of what the setup is looking like here. So next thing up is probably going to be, replacing the side monitor with a 4K monitor to kind of have things that have art in the nice, super high res. TV I'll probably keep in 1080p just because I think it's better for old school stuff. And then the big project that'll be coming is to redo the entire arcade panel. So I think what I'm going to be doing with that is I'm hoping to maybe work with the builder or find some sort of builder online that could either make a shell or would just kind of like work with me to kind of understand the needs that I have here, which is kind of like making sure that the buttons, you know, have the keyboard specific shortcuts bound to them that I need. I mean, I can configure an iPack and stuff like that, but like just making sure at least the essentials. I'd like to have like a pedestal or something to kind of cover this whole area. Like something on wheels would be great, like a shell, like some sort of like a clam here that I could just like this to be beefy, this to be like a shell at the bottom on wheels, so I can like scroll it out here and push it back in, so I can still have that umbilical cord distance to kind of give yourself, 6 feet of distance from the TV. So I don't know if I can try to find some midway. If not, that'll be something I'm working on here. If not, maybe I'll keep the panel, but like maybe just pop out all the buttons and put in some LEDs and try to learn LED Blinky. I'll probably get that all mapped out nicely into all this setup and kind of get that all working. And yeah, and just try to make more videos about that here. So yeah, I'll wrap this one up, but yeah, check out Coverbox Fragments. Yeah. Alright, see you everybody!